How's it going, everyone? This is Cloud Chief, and today I'm bringing you a Destiny video. In today's video, I am showing you how to duo Crota's End and get Flawless Raider. Now, the reason I did this was me and my friend, we were thinking that some people might be intimidated to try and do Flawless Raider solo. So you could always duo it, or even bring in a third or fourth person and just to try and low man it. And so in this, I'm going to be kind of going over some different strategies and tips as you can watch us go through it. The nice thing about this is we got dual video going, so you can see both our screens, so you can know exactly what's going on and what each person's doing. So was very excited to do this. It sadly took a very long time to render. Not to mention, just a program we were using would just freeze up most of the time. It would render the whole video up until Crota, and then it would completely freeze up. And the way the program worked, it would have just been way too much of a pain, so we had to just keep doing it over and over again. But I'm very happy the quality of the video and how this came out. Another funny thing to note was, this was probably our 7th or 8th attempt to clear it, but we actually did it. We got the trophy for Mandy, who's in the top right screen. I'm in the bottom left. We got the trophy for her on our first attempt, but some of our video got messed up in the recording, so we had to reshoot the whole thing, and then it was probably like our 8th attempt when we got it. But it wasn't too difficult, so we're finally getting in there to starting the Abyss. Now, before you try and do this duo or trio or with whatever number of people you end up doing it with, you definitely want to have a game plan. You want to know which each person's role is, what each person's going to do, and how they're going to execute each part. You don't want to go in there not knowing, oh, I'm going to do this, and this person, or maybe we should do this, and try and make decisions on the fly. That's not going to work for helping you to get Flawless Raider. In this, because this is kind of more of the method we have done it, is we decided that I was just going to run through solo, and Mandy was going to stay back. Now, the thing is, by doing it this method, it actually does make it much easier on the runner. With the other person staying back, they can draw a lot of attention off the thralls, and it splits the attention, making it much easier for the runner. So even if you are trying to do this, which is kind of the solo method of trying to run through, it does actually help the person significantly than if they were just trying to do it solo. Because if you're doing it solo, you are having all the mobs attack you, whereas otherwise you don't. I found a shortcut. When you get up to the first hill, when you'll start running up, there'll be one lamp. If you make a left rather than going straight, you'll run right into where the first knight is, and it cuts off 2 lamps, making it 1, just faster to get through, and 2, the person who, if you are doing it this method, if they're running through and they're coming through separately, then they will have some lamps to help get through, so that way they're not dealing with Weight of Darkness the whole way. Because if you are doing the split method, once you get far enough in, they will stop spawning at the start. As you can see with Mandy walking through, there's no more mobs, because they're all force spawn up here. The funny thing is, they sometimes will force spawn back to her, but only for a few seconds before they force spawn up. We actually saw one time that she threw up a bubble and has Helm of Saint 14, so there were some blind, and then they spawned back up on me, but they spawned up on me blind, some of them, which was just interesting to note. But if your team's more comfortable running through so you're both in a pair, I mean, go ahead and do that. For this method, just do whatever, well, for any method that you're going through, just figure out a game plan and do what's most comfortable for your team, so that way you have the highest chance for success. to get Flawless Raiders, since that is the whole goal of this. And you can see some of them were spawning back on Mandy. And yeah, you just want to get through the abyss. Another thing, especially if you're doing it on hard, not that you would be going for Flawless Raid on hard, but if you're doing this method on hard, when I've gotten up top here, yeah, you'll see Mandy's just trying to fire off from a distance. The main reason is to try and get attention of anything that she can. I've actually had where we've done it on hard, where she completely got the attention of the ogre by doing that, and the ogre was looking at her and completely ignoring me, making it very easy to, you know, clear this part. You can see her bullets go flying by me. But feel free if you and your partner want to run it together. That way you can cover each other's back. Just do for the abyss whatever part is going to be best for you. I'm just doing this the same way I do it normal. If you've seen me run any of my Flawless Raiders or any explanation videos for the abyss, I'm just doing it the typical way that I would to get through here. At this point, it's just waiting for the bridge to build to get over that to move on to the next part, which is the bridge, which is, if you are low manning it, it's probably the most, see, it's hard to say that it's the most difficult. I'd say it's the highest just random chance of giving you issues, especially when you're duoing it. Just because without having at least 5 people, you can't really build the bridge solidly the way that it was meant to be, because that way you can stop Annihilator tombs from going off. If you have less than 5 people, you're going to have to at least have Annihilator tombs going off at one point or another. Even if you have 4 people, you're only going to be able to do the bridge the first time until Annihilator tombs are done. How the method we're going to end up doing it is, I'm going to just work on the bridge. She's going to work on the sword bearer. As soon as she kills the sword bearer and the bridge is built, she's going to pick up the sword and then run across and then just start killing mobs until I manage to get the second or whatever number sword bearer it is on my side, and then make it across, and then we'll start the end. Because the big thing is, if you are going for Flawless Raider, you can't have anyone die. So, she pops her bubble, since we're going to lose our supers doing this Annihilator tome. If you're not sure what's a good way to do this, I recommend just coming in here and practicing, and just practice building the bridge. Don't worry about trying to manage the mobs and stuff. Just practice building the bridge. Because even if you have to, you can just keep building the bridge and killing sword bearers until you get a good one. If you go to the right spot, where you'll see Mandy will be camping, and then where I will go, and where I go every time that you're watching any of my other videos, that spot, the sword bearers won't really come over there. So it's a good place to, you know, hang out. So even if you end up having to kill 5 sword bearers and you end up having 5 gatekeepers over there, you can just camp off to the right and the gatekeepers won't bother you. And plus, even if you get multiple ones, it is quite possible to take them out. Typically though, if you're building the bridge and the sword bearer goes off to the left side, if you're looking from the plate where like I'm currently looking, yeah, typically that'll cause a problem, and it's really difficult to manage building the bridge and the sword at the same time. In most cases, it would be best just to kill the sword bearer and just wait for another sword bearer to pop and not to worry about, which is what I'm doing. I'm letting the bridge break down, I'm letting Annihilator tomes, you know, wind down so it'll be easier to build it. And I'll just get the next sword. I'm just going over there and grabbing it to try and just start the timer. It'll cut a few seconds off. the timer of the sword just by picking it up. So Mandy's just over there just trying to stay alive. There will be constantly spawning a yellow boomer knight along with just some other trash mobs, some acolytes and thralls. So you just need to manage until the person gets over. I cut it quite close there with the sword, just trying to have fun with it. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it worked out okay. So yeah, now I'm just working on building the bridge again. The best way to manage it is you kind of have to go off of sound cues to know when's the best time to step off it. That's why, like I said, I recommend coming in and just practice building until you get good. You can get it built where like annihilator tomes will go off, you wait a few seconds, step off and step back on, and then by the second time you're gonna have to step off, the bridge should be built. That's like the optimal way of building it if you stay on there for as long as it allows you possible without it actually wiping the party. But you can of course take longer if need be. Just like I said, I would just come in here and practice. You definitely want to get some practice on every single step so you know exactly what you're going to do when going for flawless raiding if you haven't low man this before. You can see I'm just trying to manage building the bridge, trying to get the bridge built a little more before pushing him down and killing him. Since you do get a 15-second window after you kill him, you do have some time where you can build the bridge. And I believe I should be able to get it this time. I might not looking at it. I'm also stepping off. I should wait longer on. Yeah, I'm not going to get this. Yeah, I decided to just give up on the sword. And just build it again. And I was stepping off way too early. I wasn't, because you want to stay on there another second or two, because giving that just extra second before you're stepping off will help build it that much more. It honestly does make that little of a difference. And sword bearer happens to be very nice to come down the center, and there the bridge is built. So now I'm going to have 3 gatekeepers to manage. I believe I do take them all out. But even if you don't take them out, like, it's not a big deal as long as you go and hide over to one side. Another thing you can do, a friend could try and get aggro off of any of the gatekeepers, so that way whoever's coming in with the sword doesn't have aggro and make it easier for taking them out. But on normal, since it's only 3 slams, it's typically not a big deal to deal with them. And so now we're just taking out the, all the mobs that are popping in our area. Make sure we take out the yellow boomer knight. And we shouldn't get any more yellow boomer knights now that both of us are over on the side. And we want to try and take out the yellow wizard before the ogre, which I'm not sure if we do or not. With multiple people, it's a little easier to manage over here than if you were solo. When you're solo, you definitely want to make sure you take out the wizard. So yeah, we got the ogre, so I made sure to communicate so she's aware since we still have the wizard. With 2 people though, it's really easy to snipe it down. You can see we just burned it down really fast. Now we can just focus on the wizard and then get the other ogre to end the bridge part. Now we're just burning down the second ogre. And then we'll be on to the Thrallway. which the thing that I like to do for the Thrallway is you can get through it really fast, but I like to take my time there just because I like to farm pretty much. It's the best place so that way you can just sit there and kill mobs and you can farm up heavy ammo, so that way you have rockets and whatever you need to take out Death Stinger efficiently. So yeah, I just come in here, take out the first Shrieker, and then we both just get outside the door here. Especially since when you're doing it on Flawless Raider, as opposed to like if you were dying and wiping to try and get the chest. You can just move out away from the death blasts, which is very nice. Yeah, at this point, I've waited till my icebreaker built up, so I'm going to at least have some bullets. And now, you know, switching up my class, so it's ready for the Death Stinger. I like fusion grenades from here on out. I mainly like the solar grenades just to help with crowd control with the crawls and all the trash mobs. So we pushed up, took the second Shrieker out, so now all we got to do is get to the end of the hallway. But we might take a minute and farm. And now I'm running around looking for heavy ammo. Plenty of heavy ammo on that side. So now I'm max heavy ammo. All set up to go take out the Death Stinger. And if you were to do the bridge with 3 people, you would just do the same thing. You would want just one person set up to keep working on the bridge plate, and you could just have multiple people just go over while one person manages it. You just would need at least one person to know how to solo build the bridge and manage it. And just remember, if ever you have a problem with the sword bearer, don't be afraid just to step off of it, let the bridge completely break down, totally die down, and swiftly get a nice, clean, fresh start. There's no reason why you can't do that if you're trying not to use any cheese methods. So now we're getting ready for the Death Stinger, swapping out weapons. So my plan is I'm going to do what I normally do with the left tower. Mandy's going to go to the right tower and pull the right wizard and take that out. And since I have a Galahorn and she hasn't been fortunate enough to get one, which is sad because she's actually been playing the game longer than I have and still hasn't gotten one. But so after I take out the left side, I would go to the right side and take the Shrieker out, because she should have the wizard out by then. So burn the wizard down, shoot the Shrieker, and just get out safely while she's managing the wizard. Yep, so she has it taken out. I'm now going to run in, go jump on that platform there, so that way the knights can't hit me. I can take my time, aim up the Shrieker. And at this point, we've taken out everything so fast, we're just getting back away from the Death Blast, but then we're actually going to take our time and clear out the mobs on the left side somewhat. And after they're cleared out, we'll start working on the Death Stinger. I can't remember if we actually had a few attempts where we actually got the Death Stinger down before she even started her song. With 2 people, it can go really well. and very fast. You can see we're burning all the knights. From here we can just start aiming her up and shooting her up, which is what I'm doing. You don't even ever have to go in the room if you're fast enough and clear out one side. She finally went and hit on the one side, so I'm just gonna go jump up. Yep, and she didn't even start her song. Took her out, and now we're just trying to get back to safety. And then we'll start clearing out the mobs so we can start the next part and kind of farm, which I don't really get this. The main part is to take out the Death Singer, yet you have to just kill all these mobs after you've taken out the Death Singer before you can get to Crota. It's kind of ridiculous. And I wish Bungie would do something about that, because it just seems kind of silly. Especially since it's one thing if it keeps spawning mobs while the Death Singer's up. I get that. But the fact that you get like 30 additional acolytes spawning and knights spawning, like, we killed the Death Singer. Okay, let us just kill the mobs that are up and move on. Why do you need to keep spawning, you know, another 100 mobs on this part? It's just, it's really silly. And it is at least nice doing it with more people, this part, because this part, while it's not difficult, doing it solo, it's just annoying. Just so many mobs and so many yellow knights. So yeah, I'm just working on all the stuff inside the room. The other nice thing is, when you're trying to do it solo, when you're clearing out this room, you gotta be careful, because if any second it triggers the new Crota mission and you're standing on the crystal, that'll start the next process, so you can't really stand on the crystal. But with multiple people, you can go ahead and stand on the crystal and it doesn't matter, because you need everyone touching it. So considering she is out of the room killing other things, there's no threat of the next mission starting. And as for Crota, what our plan is, yeah, so we already got the new mission, which is nice. That's pretty fast. But for Crota, what our plan to do is she's going to camp downstairs, kind of where you start before you start the Death Singer. So we're gonna clear out the crystal hallway, and then she'll run down the bottom. I will get the chalice, and I'm going to be the one running the sword. I'm also going to be the one that's mainly taking down Crota's shield, but she will be supporting and helping, shoot his shield, just so that way there's no issues. Because I've had issues even with the Galahorn, where you shoot and you hit him in a way that all of the wolf round packs immediately explode on him. Which, if it was on any other enemy, that would be good, because you're just doing all the massive damage at once. But since the main point of it, you want them to kind of spread out and circle back and hit him. That way it's creating damage over time effect, which is good because his shield recharges. So even if that ends up happening, or if somehow the Wolfpack rounds end up going after something else in the area, like the Boomer Knights or something, with her shooting, we're pretty much guaranteed for his shield to go down. So it is helpful, plus it's nice to have someone else to help during ogres. You can just burn them down really fast. And this is just the method that we use. We've always kind of done this method. You could do it reverse. If you're more comfortable, and say whoever's more comfortable with the sword, say doesn't have a Galahorn, but the other person does, there's no reason you can't, from down the bottom, shoot rockets instead. and have the person with the sword just sitting there waiting. So you guys need to just figure out, again, what you're most comfortable with your team and what's going to work. And the important thing is coming up with a strategy that's going to work for you. So we're all cleared out at this point. I think we're just getting our equipment and getting our save set up. And yeah, now we're just gonna go and take Crota out. Sadly, typically just from farming all the stuff from the Death Singer, generally have plenty of heavy ammo. I didn't really get much heavy ammo. Not that that's a big deal. You definitely want to make sure you have ammo sense. The other nice thing is, since Mandy's rocking the Suros, she never really needs to take the Chalice. So if you have any kind of health regen, or if you've done Crota hard, bring your health regen items, even though it's normal. It just saves time if you don't have to pass the Chalice around. It's of course fine to if need be, but if you don't have to pass the Chalice around, it just, it saves you that much time. It can just make the run go that much smoother. So now, yeah, just getting aggro on the sword bearer. Two of us, burning down really fast. So I'm getting in position. Manny's just trying to clear out the thralls, which is definitely good. I'm trying to get aggro on Crota so he can come over, so I don't have that far to jump in with the sword. Mandy is there trying to get the Boomerang's attention off. Now, yeah, being out of heavy ammo, I'm popping my heavy ammo synth. And now we're just waiting for the next sword bearer. And if you are doing this method, where you're staying down underneath, if you're going to go out of the room into like that kind of pit area, make sure you're up against whatever side where Crota is. And if you don't have the Chalice, when Crota's on one of the sides like he is, if you're kind of in that hallway, you don't want to come out until he comes to the center, because he won't one-shot you, but just from one series of blasts, he can take you down. And he can get a very good angle on you. So when he's on the sides, you either want to immediately be up against the wall on the side there, or you want to be back in that room. You don't want to be out in the middle of that area until he's in the center there. So it's safe. See, Mandy's pulling out and getting ready, trying to get aggro on the Boomer Knights. Now she's just helping with Crota. There is another thing which also can help with Crota that most people do not know about. When Crota's shield is down, and like he takes any additional damage, it says immune, but it actually does have an effect. And what it does, if you are doing damage to Crota when he's down on his knee, if you do enough damage, it will actually make him stay down on his knee for an additional half second. While that's not a lot of time, if you've really managed sword bearing, especially on hard, you'll know that a half second can make a big difference. That can be an additional, hit in, which can make or break a run depending on how it's going. So with doing this with multiple people, it's definitely a good idea to have them help and to continue shoot Crota just with primaries. Don't be wasting like your heavy ammo and stuff, but to continue shooting him when he's down on his knee, because that can give the sword bearer even just enough time to get away, because if that half a second can sometimes make or break the difference, because If you're in there too long and Crota gets up, it doesn't take long for him just to swing his sword and take you out. So then, yeah, for ogres, we always just pull all the way back. And so now Crota's on the side, so just doing the same deal how I was on the right. I'm just kind of on the left, you know, hand side there, trying to, you know, get attention. I was just trying to check to see what his health is at. Now that he's back in the center, yeah, it's safe for Mandy to come up, which she did. Now we're trying to just burn down the sword bear to take it home. And that's it. That's how, a very easy way, how you can do Flawless Raider Low Man, doing it with some friends. It wouldn't be that much more difficult to adding a third or fourth person in there if you have, you know, some friends who you think you can do it with. I will say this, it is doing it somewhat low man can be easier than trying to bring you know, a full 6 people, unless all 6 people are extremely skilled. Considering the whole point is no deaths, having more people can just sometimes cause more mistakes and just have more issues come. It really just depends on the skill of the players. So doing it duo or trio might actually be the best option, because having 2 or 3 people is going to be easier than soloing it, but you don't have enough where you're going to have, you know, each little mistake that someone makes end up costing you. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. I may try and do one with 3 people doing that. I'm in the process of trying to figure out a way how to do Vault of Glass like this with maybe 3 or 4 different video perspectives to try and give that. But that's not going to be easy to do, and we'll see how that goes. If you enjoyed this and got some value out of it and think you're going to go do Flawless Raider, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And may you have success in all you do.